Hi there, it's another tarot sesh for Aquarius. I'm the Can Astrologer. My name is Abby, and this is a reading for April 2025. Aquarius, I do realize that you did not receive a March reading, and that is due to our friend Mercury retrograde, which affects communication, transportation, and technology. Go figure. There are 3 signs that didn't get their readings this month because of technical difficulties. So, that said, I started with you guys first for the April readings. And we've got some interesting energy this month. Welcome back to all of my returning subscribers. For those of you who haven't subscribed, make sure you smash that button. Also, hit that like button for me. I really appreciate it. I really do. Let's get into it for Aquarius with the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle. Starting out, underneath the deck, we've got magic, alignment. Somebody is coming into alignment with, it could be someone, like a relationship. This could be your own personal power, your own personal magic. This could be alignment with a situation, you know, a life path, a destiny. It's like the magic, I'm hearing, I've got that magic in me. That song, I've got the magic in me. Like, somebody really does have the magic in them. Somebody's very loyal. Or you could be around somebody who's very loyal. Somebody wants to offer, I see love letter. This could be a love letter to yourself, or it could be to another person regarding some type of stability and gratitude. Okay, Aquarius, top of the deck, we have the Uva Alanjana. It's the Beyond card. So this talks about your spirit guides from beyond. Okay? This is like a mother or a father presence, or it could even be a child for some of you. But, you know, somebody from the beyond, you know, hugging you, embracing you, letting you know that you are being cared for, you are watched over, you are protected. This also is confirmation that there are spirit guides on the other side that are there for you, that are protecting and watching over you. It's confirmation of that from the beyond. You've got a message from the beyond, and it has to do with your personal, like, alignment, like personal magic, something like that. We're going to get more into it. Okay, so for my returning subscribers, you guys know that at the end of every year I do a predictions video for the full moons, and then we journal everything from that predictions video, and then we go through it each month the following year together and see how that applies to your readings. So I'm going to get all the cards laid out here, and then towards the end of this reading we'll go over the predictions and see how that comes into play with this month's energy. Okay, what do we have for Aquarius, please? This is the Celestial Bodies Oracle. Higher peace, power, protection, and prosperity. So mote it be. Underneath the deck, we've got air. So, Aquarius, you are an air sign. Okay, air sign energy is all about communication. It's thinking energy. It's law. It's legal. It's, you know, it can be overthinking, confusion, you know, telepathy, anything having to do with any form of communication, but also like Mercury retrograde, for instance, big part of it. Communication, transportation, technology. Aquarius energy is very technical, no matter how technically inclined that you actually are. It's funny, I know so many Aquarians that they're horrible at electronics. But air sign energy, like, and I feel like you also could be dealing with an air sign, or just be in a very thinking type of state of mind. Be careful about overthinking, but someone really is putting on their thinking cap. Top of the deck, we've got 2, and it has to do with some type of unity, some type of partnership. It's like somebody's trying to figure out, like, how to make this space work right here. You know, their world, your world, their world, and your world together. How can we make this work? Somebody could be calling on their spirit guides from the beyond, asking for help, how to make this alignment work out with another person. Yep. Somebody's trying to figure out how to make an alignment work out. What do we have for Aquarius for the tarot? Higher peace, power, protection, and prosperity for the greater good. Aquarius, please. April 2025. So the song that I had on pre-shuffle for you, Aquarius, it's called Slow Down Love by Louis the Child. And so it talks, some of the lyrics are, all this time I waited on a future that you never did see. And despite all the love I gave, you wanted something I can't be. Slow down, love. It's too bright out there. Hold on, love. You're walking thin air, thin air. Now, it talks about air twice. Thin air. You're walking thin air. This is a warning to someone. Okay? This is a warning to someone. Whether this is you, like, singing the song, being the protagonist, or you receiving the message from a protagonist, from, you know, the song. This is like someone saying, like, all this time I was waiting and giving my love to a situation that you just didn't see. And this could have to do with maybe somebody wasn't giving all the details. Somebody was holding back information. Somebody, you know, had a different vision of, you know, what they wanted versus what the other person wanted, you know. And this whole time somebody was giving this love, and it was something that, you know, the protagonist can't be because they're not on the same page. Right? But whose fault is that? The person who never communicated it in the first place? Air sign energy. Right? So then it says, slow down, love, it's too bright out there. This is, that's the energy of, like, you know, warning someone, like, careful now. You're walking thin air. You know, and you can look at this two different ways. You can look at this as somebody saying, careful, you're walking thin air, like with me, my patience, blah, 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 you know, that type of stability in a partnership. Or you can look at it as the other person saying, you're walking thin air because I'm ready to split apart. I will walk away, you know, and you're going to lose out the unity, the partnership that you thought that you had, that you thought was in alignment. You know, so either or, it, you know, when you split apart a union, what am I getting here? It's just like somebody's warning another person, you know, slow down. You could, you know, walk into a bigger problem than what you bargained for. It's kind of the energy that I'm getting from this. But let's see. Let's move into the tarot. We got the King of Pentacles underneath the deck. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy. You could be dealing with a masculine energy. This is like the energy of somebody, you know, who makes really good money. They take care of everybody around them. So this could be like a boss or a CEO type energy. It doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine. Somebody could have a dog or a wolf or something like that. But this is somebody who's very gracious, very giving, but he works a lot. Like, that's all he does, is he works all the time. Right? So he's not really there for the family, but he takes care of the family. Okay? Okay, what do we have? 2 more cards, please. 1 more card, please. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm going to take it like that. Dang. Okay, so underneath the deck, we've got the 9 of Wands. This is the Wounded Warrior. This is somebody, it's very passionate energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You could have it in your chart or be dealing with somebody who does. But this is the energy of somebody who's been through the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs. They have ran the gauntlet. They have been dragged. Okay, but they're still in it for the good fight. They still have one more fight left within them. They're still standing strong. You know, they make a very good leader. They're very wise, very noble, very tough. Okay? but they're tired. They're freaking tired. All they want is that 10th wand so they can lay down the burdens and move to a new cycle. Now, speaking of cycles, we start out with the World in reverse. The World card has been popping up, but this one's in reverse, which means that somebody is repeating a cycle, or somebody needs to repeat a cycle. Somebody's going to be repeating a cycle, and whether this is you or another person, this could be Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus energy. Somebody is having like an awakening about this. Somebody's realizing that there needs to be a passionate new beginning. Something needs to change. Even though it's a redo, it's like a redo in a different kind of way. That's what this flame is. And it was in the last reading. That was Capricorn. It was the candle image. But like, you know, fire, this flame represents, you know, it's like the light in the darkness. Somebody's realizing like maybe what they missed, what needs to be redone, what needs to be done correctly. But what I don't like, and we're going to clarify this, what I don't like is the Magician reverse. This is somebody who's manipulating energy in a negative way, not good. Or they're manifesting but from a very negative space. This is very dark magic type of energy. And it's very me, I. This isn't, like what I always say about the Magician. First off, it's what goes around comes around, okay? But when he's upright, the Magician is a master manifester. Master manifester, okay? I love Magician energy when it's upright. The Magician can manifest, you know, and a good Magician will manifest not just for themselves, but for those around them. That's a good Magician. When it's in reverse, that's not what you're getting. You're getting about somebody that only thinks about themselves. You're getting somebody that's like, it could be very narcissistic, very manipulative, very all about how it's going to benefit and help them in the long term. And it's very karmic energy as well, because again, what goes around comes around. What's put out into the into the others, that energy will come back. Okay, and so this is like somebody either having an awakening about what could happen, or this is somebody conjuring up a very nasty plan because they're maybe guarded, or they know that somebody else is guarded. It's like they want to knock somebody down or have somebody start over again. This is very interesting energy. It's like somebody feels like, I don't know, there's very negative energy here. Somebody could feel like, somebody could know like what needs to be done in order to start a new cycle, but it's like they're trying to get it done in the wrong way. They're not manifesting from the right vibrational frequency. This is somebody they could be codependent, somebody that feels that they need somebody else to do everything for them. Let's clarify. Underneath the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles, so that's balancing out finances. This is about sharing your success builds more success. And so again, I said karma, you know, what you put out there is what comes back, right? So as long as you're doing it with the right intention, if you're manifesting and putting things out there from the wrong frequency, it's going to come back in that same type of negative frequency, sometimes even tenfold. But this is talking about balancing out, balancing things out, bringing together harmony and alignment, giving and receiving, fairness and justice, generosity, sharing, influence, and nobility. Okay, so what's the World in reverse? Somebody could feel, okay, it wanted to fall in reverse. So this is good. So somebody could feel like they're repeating an old toxic cycle, but the good news is that they're no longer out in the cold with the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Upright, this means, it's the energy of having a hard life, looking around, but help is at hand. So you have help, or this person has help, but they feel like they're repeating a cycle. However, when Five of Pentacles is in reverse, it talks about money being regained after a severe toil, maybe after somebody had to start over. It's the energy of being determined, obstinate. It's about recovery, but also assistance. So somebody could be like starting a new cycle, but they gained help and assistance. And money is being regained after this, after this major breakdown. I feel like somebody's just recovering from this, right? What's the Ace of Wands energy for Aquarius? What's this Ace of Wands energy? Okay, that fell in reverse. Oh. So we have this Ace of Wands energy. Somebody wants a passionate new beginning, but there's a problem. We have the Page of Swords in reverse. So there's a need to balance priorities when making your decisions. Because the Page of Swords, this could be a younger air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Or it's just like somebody who is in the energy of being careless, defensive, incompetent. They have ideas, but they don't take action. They also gossip about a lot of people. I hate that. They always say, like you always hear, it's the idea that like small minds discuss other people, big minds discuss goals, ideas, and and ways to take action. This person is not taking action. They're being careless and defensive. Somebody could be having a realization about this person. Okay, so somebody who has an open third eye could be having a realization or an awakening about somebody in this Page of Swords reverse energy, about somebody who's careless, who doesn't take action, who has ideas, but they don't do anything to get those ideas off the ground. What's the Magician reverse? What's the Magician reverse for Aquarius? What's the Magician in reverse? Oh. So, it came out sideways. I'm going to read it both ways, and you can determine how this works for you. So, it's interesting because the High Priestess is the balance of opposites and decisions. Now, the High Priestess, when upright, is typically about intuition, using discernment, trusting your gut, being wise, being really solid in your way of thinking, but and it's trusting your own counsel first. She's also the tarot card reader of the Zodiac, so you could be getting, tarot card readings. Obviously, you're on my channel getting a reading, but you also could be looking into other readers and that type of thing. You also could be a reader yourself, upright, she's about change and fluctuation, wisdom, sound judgment, common sense, awareness, and intuition. But in reverse, there's hidden motives. There's superficiality, there's confusion, short-sightedness, and ignorance. Now with the Magician reverse, this is somebody who's manifesting things for the wrong reason. This is like somebody like coming from a very evil, I don't even get evil off of this. It could be, but very dark type of energy. Somebody who's just not healed, right? There's somebody just not healed due to some kind, it could be black magic. And here's the thing, like, I always say about black magic, because I am a light worker, but in order to understand and really be grateful and to fully understand and embrace the light, you have to understand the dark first. And that comes from this energy. That comes from being drugged through the dirt. That comes from being, made to run the gauntlet. right? And still coming out victorious on the other side. But when you get at that end, you're tired, you know, you want your justice. You want justice. You know, that's what we've got here. But one person's justice is another person's karma. So somebody, I feel like, is like kind of looking at themselves and realizing, you know, they were coming maybe from a different vibrational frequency. They may be a little frivolous and uncaring, just like in the wrong frequency. Now, it is saying that somebody isn't taking, you know, there's ideas there, but not without action, or they're without action. Underneath the deck, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. The time is right to take action on your ideas. Now, whether this is this person or a different person, I feel like somebody is about to, their justice is that they're going to be taking action on their ideas. It's about manifestation, prosperity, power, new ventures. So there's somebody, whether this is you or another person, Aquarius, that is now taking action on their ideas to potentially get away from this kind of like, you know, manipulative, dark, lower vibrational energy. It's very interesting. Okay, so let's move forward. So, you know, and maybe this is that song, Slow Down Love. It's, you know, you're walking on thin air. This is somebody who could be manifesting, you know, manifesting, but again, from lower vibrational frequency. And it's like, it's a warning. It's like, be careful what you're thinking about and what you're manifesting and how you're manifesting it. Because if you are affecting the will of other people, okay, the will of other people, but not paying attention to what it is, like their wants, needs, and desires, then it will create a lot of friction. So I'll pull this one real quick before we go into our little deck of dreams. What else? What do we need to know with the Divine Energy Oracle? What's some good advice for this reading for Aquarius for the month of April 2025, please, spirits? What do we need to know for Aquarius? April 2025. This applies to your sun, moon, rising, Venus, or Mars. Underneath the deck, we have rejuvenate. So somebody needs to take a break. Sorry, guys. Somebody needs to take a break and rejuvenate. This could be, you know, having a spa day. This could be, you know, taking some time off. This could be taking a vacation. You know, this could be just taking a bath, you know, and relaxing. But rejuvenate. Taking some time off. Underneath the, or that's underneath the deck. Top of the deck. And face your adversities. Face your problems. You cannot run from them. Okay? You cannot run from them. You have to face your adversities. You know, or like, it's like somebody having to face their demons. You know, somebody having to get right with themselves. Somebody having to take accountability for their actions or lack of actions. Could be that as well. Somebody having to step up to, you know, personal truth. But once that happens, it's like the Ace of Pentacles here. You know, this is, it's opportunity. Aces are gifts from the universe, and Pentacles talks about money, wealth, you know, material things, power, opportunity. If this isn't you underneath the deck here, this is somebody that you're dealing with who's about to have those opportunities. Somebody very independent, makes a good leader, could be getting helped out by a King of Pentacles, which is going to stress another person out who wants to like come in, but it's too late. There's too much toxic energy and some type of a new beginning. Okay. So for the predictions, let's do that right now before we finish up. So for the predictions for the month of April, the full moon is on April 12th, 5:22 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's on a Saturday. It's the Libra full moon, or they also call it the pink full moon. Now, this month, on April 7th, Mercury retrograde ends and goes direct. So that's good news. And then we'll have 2 weeks of post-shadow energy. And then on April 13th, Venus retrograde ends. So things like relationships and creative blocks and that type of thing is going to return back to normal, okay? Now we pulled the Queen of Cups energy. The Queen of Cups, that's Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces energy, and she's very loyal, very trustworthy, very giving, but she's also very mysterious. She can be very dramatic, but she's very in tune, okay, very wise. Then we pulled the Giving Birth card. Now there could be a Queen of Cups giving birth, but this like to a child, but this also could talk about giving birth to ideas, projects, partnerships, things like that, new relationships. Then we have number 6, Waxing Crescent, number 4. This is all about self-love. This whole month, just so you know, is about self-love, having radiance and shine, shining through your self-love. But then we pulled the card number 2, St. John's Wort, Radiance, and which is represented by the sun, which is your first house. And St. John's Wort, you can find it over the counter. You can get it at CVS, Walmart, any herbal shop. I'm not a medical doctor. Consult your medical practitioner. But St. John's Wort helps. It's like a mood booster or mood enhancer. It turns that frown upside down, which promotes radiance, right? And also is a form of self-love. You taking care of, yourself and trying to make yourself happy. Then the next card was the new moon in Leo, Shine. You could have Leo in your chart somewhere, but this is, wherever it sits in your chart, it could be like in your 10th house or something like that. That is the area, that is the part of your chart where you're going to shine. So some of you, if you need to look at your natal chart, I also do natal charts as well and can help you out with that. All of my information is in the description below this video. So if you want or are interested in a personal reading or your natal chart, connect with me. But yeah, that part of your chart, I feel like this is where you shine the most. And then we have the Picasso stone, artistry. So again, we're talking about creativity. I feel like in this month, somebody's going to be giving birth to new creative concepts. And this also is an expression of self-love. And it's like it's going to help you shine. And then last but not least, we pulled the, I've been playing with the Astro dice. And it's based on the 3 main principles of astrology. And the dice that we rolled for the month of April is South Node, Capricorn, in the 3rd house. When you combine those 3 things together, it's all about creative ideas, being crafty, knowledgeable, and comfortable with your intelligence, with the intelligence of others. Okay, so you could, if this isn't you, or you could be working with other people like you, but like you got to be comfortable with another person's intelligence, and not be jealous. And that could be this Magician reverse, High Priestess reverse energy. I feel like, okay, the other thing too I do want to say is when cards are in reverse, it's like an inner feeling. So someone could feel upset and that they want to get some kind of vengeance or some kind of retribution, potentially on a High Priestess energy or like a card reader or something. Thinking that they have hidden motives, but that's not the case. This is a low vibrational frequency from within someone, and this is because someone is not healed. Okay, meanwhile, this whole situation has to do with a wounded warrior. It's like a healer energy who's getting justice by moving on and starting some other endeavor. So, but main message for this month, creative ideas. I feel like there is a lot of creativity in here. Somebody just needs to take a break. They need to rejuvenate, take some time off in order to get back into alignment. And so you could be reaching out to your ancestors or those, from the beyond in order to move forward, in order to stabilize and figure out, how to work things out. But you have to face your adversaries. Oh, we've got one more. I was going to say, I'm like, I'm missing something. Last but not least, because we're already at 30 minutes. This is the longest reading I've had so far. What do we have for Aquarius? The key. Wow, okay. The key. Underneath the deck we have hair. It's said to represent thoughts, wisdom, sensuality, strength, growth, or loss. But how you wear our hair and how we relate to it is highly personal. Somebody could have really long hair. You could be dealing with somebody with real long hair. Bring mindful attention to your hair today as you tend to it. You might don a special hair ornament, hat, or headscarf as you invite the dream to reveal its meaning. So you could be having dreams about hair. It's kind of random. But main message is key. And I feel this one. Underneath that is coins. So keys have taken many forms over the centuries. Ancient bronze keys, skeleton keys, brass home keys, key cards, and digital keys, for instance. You could have like a digital key or a new like gate key or something like that is what I'm getting. But what they symbolize has remained fairly consistent. Nonetheless, just as each key fits only one lock, its specific meaning will be unique to you, the dreamer. The key that you find, I gotta pull, it's so small. The key that you find in your dream may be reminding you of what you want to open or close. When you hold the key, you have the power to unlock mysteries or the door to your heart. So whatever problem has been vexing you, if you're holding the key, it's a good sign that the solution is close at hand. Go ahead, open the door you thought was locked, slip a key into your pocket today and remind yourself of your dream. Or if you have a key charm, wear it around your neck and let it empower you as you unlock the meaning of your dream, or when you want to lock in its wisdom. So you also could have just like received like a new key or keys. But like Spirit's telling me, I'm looking at these last two messages, it's like you need to face your adversaries, adversities. It's adversities, not adversaries. Adversaries are like a person that you think is like like an op, but they're not, okay? Adversities are just like the things against you. It's like you have to take, I've been getting this message the entire time through. Somebody needs to take accountability for their actions. Somebody needs to take accountability for like a relationship, their business, a position, a situation. Somebody has to take accountability. That is the key to turning around a situation. That's where I'm going to leave it, Aquarius. Your guys was a little longer, and I think we finally got it out. But if any of this resonates, drop a comment in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in a personal reading, all of my information is below. Just reach out to me. Just email me. And as you know, it's together we grow. I always love sharing this time and energy with you. I look forward to connecting in the near future. Make sure that you check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars signs for additional messages. And I will see you on the flip side. I hope that you have a fantastic April. Happy 420. You guys take care. Peace.